And I love the trumpet, everything. Oh, just very beautiful. Very beautiful. Thank you. Well, in the 1980s, I had a friend who wanted a new car. And so she went to in those days, you go to the bookstore, right? So she went to the bookstore, went to the magazine section, and was looking through all the car magazines and came across a Car and Driver magazine with the brand new Mustang that was on the cover. And she thought, oh, that's the one for me. I am going to look so good in that one. You know, it's all about, right, how you look in your car. Yeah, right. Russ knows that one. And it was sleek. It was black with the red interior. Do you remember that one? It was really nice. And so she bought the magazine. She cut out the front cover, pasted it on her refrigerator door. And every day when she would go to her refrigerator, she would see that picture of the Mustang. And so she'd get this feeling like, oh, I can really see myself in this car. I can feel it. And so she just got into visualizing herself being in it. So one day, and as we know, when we say we just happened, it really means that the universe orchestrates everything, right? So she just happened to be driving by a dealership, and she sees the car that was the spitting image of the one that she had been visualizing. So she goes in to inquire about the car. Hardly any miles on it. It was on sale. She took it for a spin. And when she came back, the dealer said, you know, that particular car was featured on the front cover of Car and Driver magazine. So she actually manifested the exact car that she wanted, the exact car that was on her refrigerator door. So of course she bought it because she was a vibrational match for it. Jesus talks about this superpower that we have when he says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's thought and emotion that creates this imagination where we can visualize. And when we have this, there is a tremendous vibratory force. So if we think and visualize emotionally about something long enough, whether it is something we want or something we don't want, it's quite likely going to be something of like vibration that will come into our world. Because manifestations are all about the vibrations that are emitted. It is the job of the universe to match our vibration constantly, and to bring you like-minded people, like-minded situations, like-minded experiences, like-minded things. So that being said, and this is something we all need to consider, is that the power of the imagination, which emits vibration, may become a blessing or possibly a burden. It is one of the most entertaining, and it's also one of the most contracting of all of the gifts that God has bestowed upon us. And it comes with great responsibility. It can charm and captivate us. Imagination can frighten and enlighten us. It can lift us to ecstasy or plunge us into despair. And here's the deal. You are only responsible for what you put out, what you create, for you using it wisely. So many of you know I'm one of those. I like to examine everything and create everything into its most simplistic tool, if you will. Therefore, let's break this down a tad bit. Let's use Amazon as an example. So when you're looking, how many of you have ever used Amazon? I'm sure every hand goes up, right? Okay, so when you're looking on Amazon for something that you want to order, it already exists, right? It's already created. As our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, said, there is an inexhaustible supply in the invisible realm which awaits our call upon it. I love that. So you are looking at items in Amazon, and you know, in your mind, you know it's at some warehouse somewhere waiting for you to order it, to call it forward. My friends, this is the same for all of our manifestations. Before you ask for anything, it already exists. So you order your Amazon from, or your item from Amazon, and here's the most important part. What we really want to focus on is the receiving part. You know, without a doubt, you are going to receive your item within the next day or so. You have faith that it will come to you. No doubt about it. And then what do? You let it go. How many of you have ever ordered something from Amazon completely forgetting about it, and then it comes to your door and you go, whoa, I wonder what that was? I've done that. I have done that. So let's look, though, at the default setting that many people seem to experience. Again, we're going to use Amazon as our example here. So let's say you spent a day working on your taxes. You're overwhelmed. You don't like numbers. You're frustrated, and you need some information on filing taxes for your own individual situation. But you're not clear as to what you want. So you just go, Amazon, I'm indifferent, whatever, just send me whatever. And so let's just say Amazon reads your vibrational frequency, your energy, to get an idea of what it is that you're seeking, what it is that you want. And the next day you receive a calculus book. You blame Amazon for your unhappiness. Now, this is what people do. Most people will blame others for the realities that seem to be in their life. They get something that they don't want, and then they make up all the reasons why they're the victim. You see, as long as you assign the responsibility for what you're receiving to someone outside of yourself, you will not be able to deliberately choose to receive what you actually want. Now, that being said, there are times when you can use the outside world towards your advancement, where what I like to call catalog shopping. I love catalogs, but here we have catalog shopping out into the world. Some years back, before I met my fabulous husband, I did this particular exercise, and that's when you look out into the world at what you want. For instance, I would see a couple laughing and having a great time together, and I'd say, universe, I want that. And then I would see maybe an older couple holding hands, just being so precious to one another, and just treating each other beautifully. And I'd say, oh, universe, and I want that too. And again, I would ask over and over again with things that I would want out. It's catalog shopping. So again, you ask with a vibrational frequency of expecting to receive. Ask and ye shall receive. And that's exactly what John Goddard did. He saw his world as a catalog of things to do. So one more example from Amazon as to what many people do. Let's just say they order a fishing pole. It's exactly the one that they want. It's top of the line. It's everything that they could possibly want in a fishing pole. But then they have this whole conversation in their minds. Oh, I don't really deserve this fishing pole. Do I really need something like this? Where am I going to keep it? I got to keep it away from the children. Will I really use it? Is it within my budget? So again, let's say Amazon reads their energy and says, well, do they really want this or not? Doesn't look like they do. I guess, well, I won't send it to them. They're just not a vibrational match to it. And then we wonder why we don't get what we ask for. It says in the Bible, ask believing. Ask believing, not how it's going to get to you. Ask for what you want. So we're going to be setting up the rest of this community experience here today. And I want you to keep in mind, visualize emotionally. Know that everything already exists in the invisible realm, and just be a good receiver. Don't be attached as to must look this way or must look that way. Just don't be attached. Just know it's going to come to the door and you're going to go, did I order that? And so with that, let me hear you say amen. Can I get an amen? And so it is.
Let's give Reverend Cathy some more love, shall we? So Mildred and Margaret had just turned off 101 onto Arriaga, and they're headed this way, and they come upon a stop sign, and Mildred just goes right through it. And Margaret kind of sat up and took a deep breath, and then they keep on going, and Mildred's going a little fast, and she then goes right into the dip of the road and hits the bottom of her car, and Margaret's like, Mildred, hello, Mildred. And they keep on coming, and then they're getting ready to cross over on the Santa Barbara, the one way, and oh my gosh, Mildred didn't even stop. And Margaret goes, Mildred, if you don't start paying attention and watching what you're doing, we're going to have a problem or an accident. And Mildred said, am I driving? And so this is the awareness that every now and then, when we're moving along on life's highway, that we want to remember that we are the ones driving. We are the co-creator. We are the co-pilot with God about what is manifesting and coming into our lives. I remember a number of years ago, I told Bibi, because we had relocated off of the beach for a while over to the bay, and I said, this is a perfect place for a boat. And she said, what do you want with a boat? And I said, well, I don't know. I think I want to water ski again, I just want a boat. And she said, well, and about a boat, and there are a lot. And I said, I'm going to dream about a boat. And so one day I was walking down the hall at First Unity, and a man walks up to me. He was in our chaplain program, and he said, Reverend Temple, do you have any use for a boat? And I said, well, I've just been thinking about that. And he said, well, I have one, and it's a Bayliner, it's a blah, blah, blah. And he said, and I don't ever use it. Would you want it? And I said, well, let me be clear. Are you gifting it to First Unity, or are you gifting it to me? Either way is fine. He said, well, would you, write some of your messages out on the boat? And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. He said, well, I'm gifting it to you. So we had the boat for many years, and then we gifted it to someone else. This is how it works, and you want to be aware of all the commenters, the commentators on the sidelines, because they're wanting to tell you how, and more than likely the limitations about that. And so you want to be mindful who and what you share your vision with, because you want people to hold the space for you. Yes? There was some energy that was being gifted. God was hearing certain things because of the pandemic, because of do I wear a mask, do I not wear a mask, uncertain, do I travel abroad, do I not, uncertain times, and what do we do, and do I get a vaccine, do I not, do I get the other booster, do I not, what's going on, do I plan, lots of uncertainty. Anybody had any uncertainty lately? And so there was lots of uncertainty, and so God had heard that people, not that many people were being that optimistic. So, God being God, sent angels down to assess, the people. And they came back to God and said, there's only about 30% of the people that are positive. God was shocked. 30%? Yeah, just 30%. So God said, well, let me send some more angels. Maybe it was the angels I sent, And so sent some more angels, and those angels came back and said, yeah, well, only about 30%. So God said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send an email. So God sent an email to all the optimistic people. He was like, we can't lose them. And some more ways to be positive. Did you not get one? You can watch it online later, I tell you, okay. Give yourself some love. So, one of the things that we know for sure is that in our culture, in the time that we're living, there's a lot of uncertainty. And so where we come in as a spiritual community is we provide certainty. We provide energy. We provide life. We provide the principles that sustain a person during these current times, yes? And we provide a life force that people want. And that's why this Vision Sunday is so important. So we can take in the external world a lot of the things that we are uncertain about, but we can count on Unity of Santa Barbara, a spiritual community center, to be our rock. Are you with me? We can count on Unity of Santa Barbara to be the place that, wow, I know when I go over there, I'm going to get like a B12 shot. And I'm going to feel like I'm with like-minded people, and I'm going to feel the energy. And I might have walked in with something happening with my body, but by the time I left, I was restored and renewed. I had some issues on my mind, or concerns about my grandchildren, or some concerns about what I've been seeing on social media. But when I gathered around in a great vibration, I shifted, and all that changed because I was able to let go and let God. What was I able to do? Let go and let God. It's about being excited for what you are a part of. I've told many ministers that I've trained throughout the country, people are only going to get as excited about the work as you are. And Reverend Cathy and I hear stories across the nation. We had to close. We're no longer there. We have one minister doing 5 communities now. We're having to do this. We're having to do that. And those are facts. But we are raising our bar, raising our awareness, raising our vibration to say we want to live in spiritual truth. We want to be the leading edge community that shows people how to grow, how to have a vision, how to expand, how to stay young and never grow old. Does that work for you? Does that work for you? So, in other words, rather than being, as Maslow would say, at the survival level of what are we going to do? That's the last thing any of you want, either in person or online, is to hear us stand in front of the room and go, what are we going to do? Hello? Here's what we're doing. Isn't that what you want to hear? Here's on the collective what we are focusing on together. And that's why this is so exciting, because collectively we can all focus on this community. Many of you have been coming here for 50 years, some 90, Shirley Campbell. We owe it to ourselves, We owe it to the unity movement. More importantly, we owe it to each other. Do we not? You know, I haven't watched the most recent Superman films because, you know, I'm sure they've had to change a few things and props because, you know, we used to know Superman that had the phone booth, right? And, you know, that was the Superman that I know. And stick to the story. Here we come back. But, you know, there was Clark Kent that, I mean, he was kind of he was an interesting character, wasn't he? Kind of clumsy and, you know, that was Clark Kent playing his role. But when something would happen, what would he do? When something would happen, he would go running towards that phone booth. He would step inside. Stay with me now. He would step inside, and what would he do? He would transform into Superman. Yes, he left Clark Kent in the booth, did he not? He left his personality in the booth. And that's what is called upon us when we are personally talking about a vision, when we're talking about being healers and revealers, is we leave our personalities in the booth and we check into this greater awareness of consciousness of infinite, unlimited possibilities. We move from an aquarium to the endless sea. Yes? And so this is the part that, you know, we put our personalities aside. And Cathy referred to Jesus. He said, it is not I, but the Spirit within me who doeth the work. So I'm over here. I have all these thoughts and dreams and wishes. But when I step over here, there's something greater than me guiding me in this awareness. Make sense? And that is the metaphysical lesson. That is the part of our energy in which we live and move and have our being. If my personality required me to ever stand in front of a room and speak to people, it would have never happened. Are you with me? It would have never happened. Most books are never written. Most speakers never speak. Most songs are never sung. Most dreams are never fulfilled. Most contracts never happen. Most retreat centers never occur because people go, well, no, everybody's doing some of that. And who would I be to bring that up? Who would you not be to bring that up? Who would you not be to realize that? Like true story of the janitor that was cleaning the lobby of a hotel in Mexico, and the engineers and everybody were gathered with their blueprints and their papers, and they go, we really need an elevator now. And they go, well, according to the structure and everything, we cannot do it. And the janitor said, why don't you put it on the outside of the building? Thus became the new glass, right, of what people use. Possibilities. What can be there? What can happen? And so there was a man that had graduated from Stanford University, and he went and applied for a part-time job. And in the job interview, the guy said, you're hired. Now, all I need now is a typist. And the man said, well, I want to be your typist. I can do it, but give me till next Tuesday. He said, okay, come in and, show me how well you can type. So next Tuesday came, and the guy was typing, and he went, you're hired. And he said, but why did you have to wait till next Tuesday? He said, well, I had to go rent a typewriter, and I had to learn how to type. He was the 31st president of the United States. In other words, within ourselves, every now and then, we're called forth to do something, to learn something, to expand something, to let go of something, to open up to something, so that we can allow the bigger manifestation to unfold in our lives. It means a lot to us that you have come today. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. And as we prepare for our contemplative time for you to write out your vision, if you did not receive a clipboard or you need a pencil, could you please raise your hand, and keep your hands up. There's a couple of you. Thank you, Bill, over here. And if you could prepare for our time. And those of you that are online, you can email it to info@unityofsb.org or go to our website. We would like to hear from you as well. Or you can drop off your vision, your list, during the week. So again, let's think about what we're saying. From our board, we have ideas about a retreat center, an endowment, classes 24/7, all the time. Some of us, a commercial kitchen with a restaurant here. Yes? So there's no limit to what you can hold in your heart and to manifest. So again, you're just focusing on the what, not how. Okay? So thank you, Prissy, as you prepare us for this.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world.
And as the music continues to play and you're holding this space in your heart, please begin to write down your list of what you vision for Unity of Santa Barbara. Just another minute or two. We're going to take the list and compile them and have community artists create a large canvas that will be hung here in the sanctuary. And we'll give you a copy, a PDF copy of that so we can hold it together. If you are elaborating about ideas or you have more things you want to write, then please feel free to stay and finish up and give it to one of us at the end of the service. We are so honored that so many of you publicly came in today and played a part in this experience.
So now I'm going to call forth our angel team, and if you will, pass your visions to the center of the aisle, and we're going to collect those, and there we go.
Sing. And we're singing, yes? We are.
Yes, and we are going to be singing Blessing to the World.
Thank you, Prissy. Forrest.
I am the heart, I am the voice, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Forward. And this is the time in our service where we give of our tithes and our gifts, and there's, for those of you online, you know possibly where to get or give of your tithes and offerings. So you can go on our website to unitysb.org. On there you'll see Givelify. There's a place for a credit card. You can also go outside, and we will most assuredly be able to take your tithe there. And so with that, let us say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And with this, we are most grateful. Thank you.
want to share some closing announcements with you. What a day, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. First of all, I'd like to share that we do have a new setup, well, not so new anymore, but a setup of chairs and tables outside, and you're welcome to mix and mingle. We have snacks, so please make yourself at home because this is our spiritual home after all. We do have a new bookstore open, and I'd like to actually, Reverend Cathy asked me to share about a new book we have in there. It's called The Story of Unity by James Philip Freeman. It's in our bookstore, which is right next to our office, to my left, and your right. So, at the Fountain Courtyard, out these doors to your right, is our prayer chaplain. We have a large prayer team, and we do accept prayer requests on our website as well. If you'd like to honor a person, place, life event with a flower dedication, please contact Peggy Haskell at peggy@unitysb.org. We all know Peggy by now, and she's out by the welcome table as well, across from these doors, these glass doors. She's also our volunteer recruiter, and so you can contact her to learn about our available positions. One of the things that we are looking for are snack angels to help with bringing snacks to Sunday services. So that's
the children's department.
And the children's department. And the children's department. We are actually seeking to fulfill roles in our children's youth department that we are in the midst of relaunching. If you know of anybody who you feel would be, who you're confident would be an awesome fit for that, we are actively searching, and we will very gratefully receive your recommendations. You can contact me about that at Forrest with 2 R's at unitysb.org. A couple last announcements. Our office hours and Shirley Campbell Chapel hours are 11 to 3 from Tuesdays to Thursdays. And I just want to take a moment here. Many of you have asked me about this matching fundraising campaign that we are conducting at the moment. This is going until August 15th. We have $25,000 of matching funds, and we've raised over $12,000 so far, combined pledges and donations for that match. Now, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, just for a moment, I'd like to share that this center, over the past 4 to 5 months since I've been here and been with the ministers and this amazing staff and team, this place has really transformed. This place has come to life. And because of you, because of our amazing team, so any participation that you'd like to make in this matching fundraiser with our Transformed Events program, our rentals, these ministers we have are incredibly committed to you and the health and vibrancy of this community. And so is the entire team. So it's truly an honor. I know we all feel so honored to be serving you. So if you'd like to participate in that matching fundraiser, you can leave a check in the office here, or on Givelify, you can just note there's a little button that says make comment, and you can just say match, and we'll know what it's for. And we'll thank you very much in advance for your participation in that.
And we'll take boats and cars.
And we'll take boats and cars and houses and all kinds of stuff. Whatever you want to give. Thank you.
And we'll keep you posted as to what we receive, because we might receive interesting things, I'm thinking. All right, so with that, now let us stand and sing our peace song.
God as Creator.
protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so